call the member for Flinders.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And I rise to speak on the Appropriation Bill in relation to education. I'm slightly disappointed to see we don't have the Education Minister here. I was looking forward to a conversation. Nevertheless, one of the most important things we do in this place is to set overarching principles for Australia's education system, from childcare and early learning through to schooling, vocational and higher education, and on to postgraduate research. High-quality education builds knowledge, develops character, perspective, confidence, purpose, and enables individuals to meet their potential. The Coalition's basic starting point is to recognise that each student is different and unique in needs, capability and aspiration, but that to each student equal opportunity must be afforded. But we also recognise the right of each family and indeed each student to choose what education modality is right for them. One size fits all does not produce optimum outcomes either for the students themselves or the systems we seek to oversee and improve. That choice is nowhere near as important as in the sphere of early learning. We believe Australian families should be able to make their own choices to best support their children and each family's needs and circumstances. I do want to recognise the Minister for much of the work he has been doing in relation to child safety in early education and care so far this term. I'm grateful for the collaboration that has been on display in this place over recent months, and that gratitude extends to his personal team and his departmental team, led by Secretary Tony Cook, PSM. Recent reports of child abuse have precipitated combined attention, work and progress across the political divide towards better outcomes for child safety in childcare. The Strengthening Child Safety and Quality in ECEC reforms proposed at the Ministers' meeting in August are a step in the right direction, but the real test will be the actual implementation of measures to protect kids in childcare and improve the quality of education and care. The Coalition supports the government's direction in this, but key questions remain. For example, Minister, who will be paying for these improvements long term? Who is responsible for delivery of each individual measure? And how will the system work in practice to ensure every educator is covered and checked and supported in the execution of new accountabilities we have placed on their shoulders? Moving beyond early childhood, the shortage of qualified primary and secondary school teachers is placing immense pressure on Australian schools, students and teachers themselves. Teachers are leaving not just because of workload demands, but also because it's difficult in managing student behaviour. Out of 80 OECD countries, Australia ranks 71st when it comes to classroom discipline, and our results are tanking. Globally, we have failed in maths, science and reading. NAPLAN results show that 1 in 10 Australian students require additional support today. Our results are particularly concerning for boys. In Year 9, only 82% of boys meet the minimum writing standard in NAPLAN compared to 91% of girls. This is a trend of declining literacy I first raised in my maiden speech to this place 3 years ago. Boys are falling behind. Some 23 years ago, my then boss, the Minister for Education, Science and Training, Brendan Nelson, hit the alarm button after the parliamentary report Boys Getting It Right showed fewer boys than girls completed high school, more girls were entering university, more boys were being suspended for disciplinary reasons, and literacy and numeracy rates for girls were much higher than they were for boys. Almost a quarter of a century later, things are still worse for boys, not better. So I ask the Minister what is being done to restore safe learning environments for teachers and students. What is he doing to fix the shortage of over 4,000 secondary teachers in 2025? And as an immediate priority, what actions has he taken to lift literacy standards among boys? And finally, on the topic of ensuring the next generation is equipped for the future, our society is in the midst of a technological revolution led by AI. In the last parliament, the House Standing Committee on Employment, Education and Training made a number of critical recommendations regarding the appropriate use of generative AI in the Australian education system, and disappointingly, the government has still not responded. AI is now well embedded into our world of work and our education system, but we are at real danger of generative AI preparing the curriculum, setting the exam, sitting the exam and marking the exam without a whole lot of learning going on in between. Fields such as law, accounting, data entry, design and media, which thousands of Australians graduate from our universities every year, are among the most exposed to AI disruption. And meanwhile, trades and technical roles which are critical to our economy and far less susceptible to automation are struggling to attract and retain apprentices. It is a fact that there are 107,000 less apprentices now than when this government came into place.
Time has expired.